I've been arguing that if we look at the crisis more broadly, what stands out is male perpetrators, secrecy, power, and sexual acts in which domination is central. That fits what we know about sexual violence elsewhere. Abuse thrives in contexts of poor sexual formation, poor gender formation, poor human formation. This crisis is a long and terrible encounter with evil. I can't get the room of the First Communion dresses and the altar server vestments out of my head. But in coming to know the wounds of sexual violence, in really coming to listen to that, perhaps we can come to understand more of what sex is. Perhaps we can deepen our theology of the body through encountering sexual trauma. Sexual violence doesn't harm so badly because it physically hurts, or even because victims don't say yes. It's soul trauma because it is so intimate. The soul is harmed through the body in the most intimate way possible. The more we listen to survivors, the more we understand the harm. And then it becomes possible, perhaps, to make our way back to claims about what it means to speak truthfully with one's sexual body. If we limit our gaze in the clergy sexual abuse of minors, we risk misdiagnosing the problem. Feminist scholars and social scientists who've been studying sexual violence for decades have taught us a great deal about how distressingly common this problem is, even given really important distinctions we need to make between the sexual abuse of minors, forced relationships with adults, and relationships that appear consensual. It's much more plausible to see sexual abuse in the church alongside what we already know. Though men who committed these crimes have done monstrous things, they are not, for the most part, monsters. Apart from the small percentage of sexually disordered pedophiles, most are ordinary human beings who did great harm. With sexual violence, including clergy sexual abuse, violations of justice are enacted through gendered scripts. Healing requires serious reflection on gender, sex, and celibacy. Then it may be possible to rebuild and communicate a sexual ethic of justice, mutuality, and intimacy that applies both to celibates and non-celibates. This is the best that the Catholic tradition has to offer.